tutorial. Let's jump on it. Back to the archery. I was talking with the author of Able, so now I have clear idea of how to actually properly spawn arrows from the bow. So we're going to redo some of the archery stuff, and some will stay exactly the same as it was. Okay, cancel. So I'm going to also delete this one and just replace it with static mesh arrow that was on default. I'm going to show you a few cool things. Yeah, just save everything. Let's go to our test level. Inside this test level, I was able to actually make archery work. Like now the arrows will be sideways, but in general it works. It also applies physics, force, and I can like shoot stuff with it. And it just works. But it still has some issues I need to solve, and we're going to solve them now by redoing the archery system. Like for example, I didn't deal damage to this guy because I dealt damage to the weapon and shield. Okay, so let's start over. Let's go here. What we want to do, we want to go to our gameplay, weapons, right? Let's delete this arrow entirely. I made like a mess inside it and replace with none. That's exactly what we're doing. Oh, I can't? Okay, so then just force delete. Okay, it's deleted. Longbow, we're going to redo some of it to show you why I've redone it. But first, like how much, maybe we'll do the entire thing even. Like this was for test purposes. No, this is exactly as it was, nothing changed. In viewport, just added a static mesh arrow to it. And this arrow is attached to bow arrow slot. So it has special sockets for it. And inside the mesh, I've actually added one more socket that is launching the arrows. But we might as well just use a different one and add a new custom one. So this bow, like in the previous video, was just a copy of the template weapon. It implements interface. It does the roll damage, so it rolls a d8 for the bow. And those are the weapon stats. And primary, secondary ability for now is just bow start attack. And we don't have a block animation at all because we're not doing blocking with this particular weapon. So we can close the weapon. Let's make an arrow. So let's make a new blueprint, which is an actor BP arrow again. Oh wait, we need to do first fix up redirection. Now we should be able to do an actor called BP_arrow. No? Okay, because we just deleted that, but it still remembers that in this folder there is an object of this context in general in existence. Let's call it BP_fantasy arrow. Doesn't really make much of a difference what the name is. Let's add projectile movement And for the projectile movement, let's make initial speed of let's do it like 6,000 and max speed of 6,000. And rotation follows velocity and it doesn't remain vertical. So we want the entire actor to rotate based to where the forward vector is. Now there's no way to force it to move some way. If you do, you have to rotate the spawn point of it. So what you want to do is just to leave velocity x1, which means that it's moving forward, and we want to add a static mesh component, which is our arrow. So this is the arrow mesh. I want to add arrow. Oh, not physical material, mesh. Arrow. And now this arrow is completely sideways. So we want to add one more component, by the way. We want to add a sphere collision component. And this is the collider. And let's make the collider our scene root. And now we can rotate our arrow 90 degrees because this is forward. And we want to move it back, and we want to make this sphere radius like 5, something like that, and move this even further away. And we can either make a new static mesh with changed pivot point of this arrow, which isn't really that hard. Or we can make an actor that doesn't have this arrow as its root component. So I will go the other way. It will be just easier to do, well, a lot of stuff. So let's go here, say, can character step up? No. And it has custom, and this is world dynamic, no collision, no collision. So it has absolutely no collision type, and you cannot even query those arrows, deal damage to them, do anything to them. So that's the arrow. Now we go into our event graph and want to grab our collider. And I want to do add event on component begin overlap. And now let's define the overlaps. So this is the important one. Can character step? No. Custom, generate overlap events, definitely. Query no physics, yes. Overlap all, well, no. Ignore, ignore. Pawn means capsule, so ignore. Physics body means the pawn actual mesh, which is, yeah, overlap true. World static, yes, we do want to overlap. And world dynamic, we want to overlap as well. So those are weapons, armors, or anything like that. Vehicles, ignore destructible overlap. Okay. So on this component overlap, we got a hit event, which might be useful. But we got already some information here. And here in the movement component, we can say that we want to interpret movement and rotation and just leave it at default. And we also want to force substepping. Force substepping means that for low frame rates or high frame rates and very fast moving projectiles, we do want to do like all substeps traces of any movement that might skip collision, because it was moving so fast that in one frame was in front of an object and in the next frame it was behind the object, and it never actually got this collision. So that's substepping. I don't understand why only projectiles have it, like vehicles should have it at least as well. But yeah, that's super important feature. Let's put it here. So now as it moves, You know what? Let's see if it even moves. And by the way, from the first person archery, I just move one thing: particle, Niagara, emitter, and there's this arrow trail. So I move the arrow trail, and we're going to add it here. Niagara particle system trail. Okay, viewport. Where's the trail? Yeah, definitely start here or something, or even here. And now set, and there was float parameter and set float parameter. And what was it? I'm gonna have to take a quick look, because I deleted already my arrow and I was copying from here. There's one that is responsible for color. Okay, so it was color, not float. And the second one is the lifespan of it. So let's go here. Yes, I do want to open the ones that I want to show you something. This is input for moving, and this is for mouse. This is literally the input. I have no clue. I have just no clue why it is this big. Like, this entire graph is just, he's doing IK in the character instead of the anim graph. Like bow and arrow logic. It's just a mess. But yeah, I wanted to see the arrow. This is the arrow. It's also doing some stuff. I don't know why it's doing it, but what we want is here. So we want set Niagara. Okay, asset. So this is set. Okay, those two. So let's copy those. Let's go to my project. Let's paste them here. Let's delete that, and we can close this and never open again, hopefully. Okay, so trail, and those two goes here. Make the draw color. You know what? Select color. And what we're going to do is get instigator, which is a pawn. Get controller. Get state. Get team. So if team is team A, you want to go red, and if it's team B, you want to go blue. Okay, and trail life will be like half a second. Okay, we got this. So now we go trail, and you know what, let's just see if they work. So let's go to our ability. I'm going to show you how the ability should be set up. For the bolsters attack, nothing changed. It's just a child of the standard start. The only difference I did is that I wanted the branch to be able to, like, you are able to shoot after 1 second of drawing the string, not sooner. So this branch starts at 1 and ends at 2, so it's part of the loop. Okay. Oh, I also added a debug string I need to delete because it's destroying. It was, I think, here in event graph tick. Yeah. I was checking what was wrong with the stamina. Why did I have 18 if I defined 12? Well, it's because I'm an idiot. I made some of the variables instance editable, so I could edit them like here instead of taking the defaults. But by the same time, I just overwritten the max stamina here, which I shouldn't be able to do. I mean, maybe for test purposes, but I forgot that I've overwritten the default 12 to 18 by hand, and that it's changed stuff. So yeah. Okay, so now I deleted this text. I am here, so let's go to the proper ability. Bow execute. So now the execute plays animation, removes gameplay tag. Nothing extraordinary, something that always happens. And now here we have this new task. It happens. It is a spawn actor task. It happens only on the realm of server, nothing else. And that's the config. You want to spawn fantasy arrow. Amount of spawn you want to say 1. For here, you could actually make a binding, and you could make a class of ammunition being taken from the weapon itself and then pushed here as a class of what's going to be spawned, which is nice that you can just read it from the clip of the weapon. Always spawn, ignore collision, that's what I want. And now location. There is some defaults, and then there is an override. I'm going to explain how the defaults work. So let's, if I click this, it will destroy the function for the override. So I will just explain it, and then we'll go to the override. So for each instance of this being spawned, it takes information about the target, and from the target it's being is being called. So here you have targets, and you can see that I am using the target of instigator, and for my weapons and for my everything, instigator that I am pushing within the context is the weapon itself. So owner is the pawn, and so the avatar, and instigator is the weapon. So what I'm doing is I'm taking location of the instigator, so the weapon itself, and then I'm adding an additive location offset and rotation offset. This is not a word space rotation, it is a rotation offset from this instigator, so from my weapon, and from a socket, which is called arrow socket in my example. So if I go to bow, longbow, and I have this weapon mesh, and I go to the mesh, and I go to here, I created arrow socket, which is, wait, remove all attached, okay. So I got this arrow socket, which is basically bow arrow slot. The only difference is that it's rotated, so it's Z forward here, and it's X forward here, so it's X is forward. That's the important part, because I want to shoot my projectiles from here this way, but I might want to actually shoot them from here, really, so they don't try to be shot from my hand all the way back there. On the other hand, maybe I do want that, because I want the arrows to be able to hit targets that are very close to me, and the arrow has certain length. Yeah, I want to shoot them from the string, so I want to shoot them from here. So arrow underscore socket. So now I push this arrow underscore socket. I add no offset, no location rotation, because I am overwriting them later on. So if I don't do any overwrite, oh, and I also set owner of this new spawned actor to be instigator, so the weapon. So owner of the arrow is weapon, and owner of the weapon is the character. So when you do inside the arrow, let's do something. Begin play, because we all need few variables here. Get actor location, and we wanna save it as start location. I want to track it on the server. We want to also make an ignore list, which is actor object reference array, and we want to make array, and then we want to set ignore list. That's going to be easier than doing add unique, add unique, add unique. I want to get owner, and then we want to get instigator, and just in case you want to get owner's owner, if the instigator is not set properly, if it's set properly and we have double, it doesn't really change much. It doesn't cost us much to make this small mistake. Get owner's owner, okay, and also from the owner's owner get attached actors. Oh, so from this guy, from owner's owner, get all attached actors and append array. So add array of those actors. So any weapons or anything that we might have attached to us is going to be here. So this is the ignore list, and this is the start location. Okay. Ignore list, start location, begin play, projectile hit. You know what? Let's just do a print strings, basic stuff. Other actor, get display name, and just print out the string of this actor. Compile, save, and get back to the ability. Go here and find this. So if I just get all those static values, so source, I just push forward, location, I just push forward. And if I push forward the rotation without any calculations that I'm doing, and I want to push forward the socket name, everything, right? So right now I'm doing literally nothing. I'm just relaying all 5 variables from here to here. Context is an additional variable I don't have to pass forward. It's just a read-only one. So now if I hit play and I will try to shoot, I will actually fire up an arrow. It will actually hit something because it's doing a print string, I think. If I do slow-mo 0.2, so aiming takes like 5 seconds, and now I release. You can see that the arrow is being spawned properly, and it is following forward, but it is definitely not at the center of the screen, right? So it did hit this guy, and they went somewhere forward. Into oblivion. Oh, also, trail. I didn't set the particle system for it, and it's NS arrow trail. So yeah, that's one. Second is get team color. We can always get owner, get owner's owner. What? Oh, instigator. Or you know what? Let's screw that. Let's just make a trail color variable. Let's just by default make it, I don't know, white, or make it like reddish. Let's do that. Oh, and I should also put my laptop into performance mode, because I was wondering why I got only 30 FPS. Okay, so now we should have trails. It should be more visible. Slow-mo 0.3. And there it goes. Why is this not? To make it a default value. Well, never mind. We can do it later on. This. This is called. This is okay. So we are firing, but it's not aiming at the middle of the screen. We already know where the middle of the screen is, because in our fantasy character, we got AJR animation master component, and if we go into debug and hit play, then we know where the middle of the screen is, and we know what's the rotation to the middle of the screen, and we know what's the aim offset to the middle of the screen. We got all this information that we need to make those arrows actually hit proper targets where we are aiming. So what we want to do, like, we know this word set location, and how to read it is we're getting, okay, instigator, so we're getting our longbow as an object from the context. We're also getting our owner, and we're checking if it's a character, but I don't see any use of it, so we don't need that. So we're also getting our owner. The owner is the pawn, it's the avatar. We're getting the animation master, AGR animation master component. And we're getting the look at location variable, which is replicated on most frames by the system and the component itself. And then we get weapon mesh from the longbow. And for this weapon mesh, we are getting socket location, which is world space location. And the socket name is this spawn socket aim, because this is the perspective. And then we're doing a find, look at, rotation. And the start must be from which point we are looking to rotate at which point. So to this one. And then what we need is that, because this return value rotation is additive, it's not world space, it's world space additive to whatever this socket rotation already is. We need to get socket rotation of this socket name from the mesh itself, so we're getting location and rotation. And we're doing a delta rotator. So we're doing a rotator that is the difference between those two rotators. And now this, if we return to our rotation, if we hit play now, F11, okay, slow-mo 0.2. Let's maybe make the arrows just so you can see them better. Let's make it like 600, and let's make it not be affected by gravity at all. So now if I hit play and I just start shooting those arrows, you can see them fly. And you can see them fly very slowly. And it's actually still off. Huh. Maybe I did the delta rotation exactly the opposite than I should. Wasn't it supposed to be like this? Let's see. Oh, that's a lot better. It's still shooting a bit too high. Okay, and if I hold, then the bow is shaking, so it can change a bit, but in general it is flying at the target, sometimes missing. And the more far away I am, the bigger chance I hit. I can also add some extra rotation by just another delta rotator and add a static rotation applied to it. So now if I fire, it will go like even more up and a bit to the side. So the reason I did that is because once you apply gravity to the arrow, like with this very low velocity, it will just go to ground almost immediately. Yeah, but if you increase the velocity to the 6,000 that are planned for it, it will start hitting more. So let's go full screen. Slow-mo 0.1. And release, and it went really high. Huh. Maybe let's not add this rotation. Let's try it like this with this velocity. Okay, it should pretty much hit. And we can do an additional cool thing for the traces of the arrows. If you want to see its trajectory, we can always add last frame location, which would be a vector, and we would set the last frame location to, oh, not here, here, just after start location. So this way, and set it to the same. So last frame location for this frame is start. And then on tick, we can do a draw line, draw debug line. That's the one. And we want the line start to be last frame location. And the line end is get actor location. And the line color, let it be green, can be green. Duration 1 second, thickness 1, and then we need to set last frame location for the next frame to read to this frame's location. Debug trail. Okay, and we can do a variable debug and do it like this and do a branch and say if debug is true, then we want to go forward, and by default it's true because we want to see the full traces of our okay, I can also disable this. We don't need to see this. Okay, and now I can see exactly where I am spawning my arrows. Oh, this is strange. I bet I could improve the accuracy, but for now it will do. So what I want is I want those arrows to well, register hits, right? So as we can see right now on component begin overlap collider, nothing happens. It's literally nothing, which is strange because we have oh, we probably need query in physics to make those overlaps, and we're doing those overlaps, so maybe now it will. Let's go into arrow and F9. What? Collider, add event on component in overlap on component hit, maybe then? But it should be the overlap one. Yeah, just do the same. Just print out anything. Okay, play. They're not triggering at all. That's very interesting. Okay, let's go here, say, oh, because I am, no, that's fine. Collider is world dynamic. This is no collision. Collider is world dynamic. We want to do maybe just query only, and we want to instead block those that we want to hit. Maybe this will help. Okay, on component hit. Oh, and then it just stays here. That's interesting. So yeah, we don't want that. We don't want blocking. Longbow, so it's actually hitting its owner, which is more dynamic. Okay, that makes sense, but I hit a word static here. And if I go here and try to hit one of those guys, nope. Okay, so we don't want to do this, and we don't want this collider to have actual blocking. Simulate generates hit events for generate overlap events. Yes. Click released input. Is it the velocity? Is it that the substepping is not keeping up? Let's see. No. Also, the verbose of the attack is annoying. So let me turn that off. Yeah, this one. Okay, uncompiled begin overlap. So this worked because I hit a shield. It didn't work on physics body. So I'm doing query no physics, and my characters, they are doing query in physics. That's okay. And they are blocking world dynamic. What if we just go with visibility then? What if we overlap visibility? Okay, there's something I don't get. It's probably weapon blueprints. If I go into sword and shield, there's the shield. Object type physics body. Generates overlap events. Oh! Oh my god. Yeah, that could be it. Yep, that's it. Of course, if something doesn't generate overlap events, then, well, it doesn't. It's simple as that. And if the other object is trying to do overlap, it will not trigger. Okay, so very short debugging and we got it. So on this overlap, we want to see our ignore list and see if it contains this actor, and we go forward only if it doesn't. And we don't want this F9, we want now this to be F9. So I shouldn't trigger from myself now, but I should trigger from any other target that I hit. Okay, stop. F9, I can now test it. Okay, so I hit dummy 5 times, so I got 5 frames, 7 frames, a lot of frames, a lot of frames, a lot of frames. Can I hit those boxes as well? Nope. And weapons? Sword and shield I can. Okay. I could make it just physically block boxes, but I don't know if I should. Like those are world dynamic, so generate. select, okay, so no, definitely not. Once again, select, matching selected class. How are those selected class? I have no clue. Okay, never mind. Just get all cubes and floor and say, oh, I can do it like this. That's great. Oh, jeez. This is static mesh actor. Those are static mesh actors. Oh, okay, I know why. How about we not make it a group? Group. Oh, it's Shift G. Okay, Shift G. Come on. Group. Okay. It's ungrouped. It's ungrouped. Okay. So now I can select all of the selected class. So all static mesh actors. Yeah. And I could just say simulate generates and generate overlaps. And now I should be able to query them as well. Cube 14, there we go. Cube 3. Cube 6. This guy, and can I do same with landscape? Interesting. If true, landscape will generate overlap events when other components are overlapping. If true, this automation spawns. No, okay. And now I should be able to do landscape as well. Yes, okay. So now I can see that I'm generating something, and I have an ignore list, which is just me, my owner, my weapon, my everything is attached to me. And then I can do this. So we want it to hit a target only once. Check for ignored actors and to hit. So we want it to hit only once. So do once. And after this do once, we're going to make a sequence. There's something that we're going to do, and then we're going to do a delay of 10 seconds, and we're going to destroy actor. Because this arrow after hitting something should last for only 10 seconds. Because this is the respawn time of any pounce, so we don't want arrows in the air. Oh, and also in our defaults, no, yes, yes, or actually even no, and replicate movement. No, that's a replicate movement location related after. I think it is important for the projectile movement, so yes. Okay, and here we want to do hit. So first thing, we wanted to get stuck in the target. So what we want to do, want to get actor location. Oh, we already got location. That's the last frame location. Or you know what? Get actor location. And now get actor location. We want to also get our root component and want to get forward vector. Or we could even get actors forward vector. Get actor forward vector. We want multiplied by a float value, which is saying that we want, because forward, right, and up vector is 0, 1. So adding magnitude means that we want to just move it this much into this direction. So now we have a vector length of 20 in the forward direction. I want to add it. So we want getting location and increase it by our forward vector. I want to set actor location without sweep. We want to just teleport. We also want to get our collider. Set collision enabled to no collision. We no longer want to check collisions because we already hit a target. And now we want to, so it's no collision, we are setting forward. We want also our projectile movement, and want to say stop movement immediately. So it just doesn't do deceleration, doesn't do it, it just stops. And it stops any simulation of movement, any velocity, any acceleration. It just stops immediately in this frame in place. And now we want to also get this hit actor that we got, but we want to actually read it from here. So let's make it like this, make it like this. We want it all the way here. And we want to get some information about the hit. So we might actually take impact point instead of the actor location. Yes, we might want to do that to set the actor location. And we're gonna make it pretty in a second. And then destroy after 10 seconds. On he do this. And now we got this. Yeah. Okay, we're setting location, then we're doing this. And then we want to also attach actor to component. So we need to know what's the component that we hit, which is here, hit component. We want the socket name, so any bone name that we hit if it's a event skeletal mesh. I want to say keep world, and keep world, and do not build simulated bodies. This way we will attach the arrow to this impact point location plus 20 centimeters deep. And the root of our arrow is the collider, so it's the tip of the arrow, so this should do proper work. And there we have it. It's being, whoa, boom, boom. Oh, come on. Yep. You can see this snap, but it's barely visible. When this arrow is moving really slowly, then maybe. And they're like even going through at some places. Okay, yeah, we got this. So now we've done this. We need to also apply force. So we want to get this component, because we want to apply force to a component. Apply, no, it's force. Oh, it's not apply, it's add. I want to add force at location, add location local, or we want add radial force. Add a force to all bodies in this component originated from the supplier's world space location. Yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. The origin is the impact point, of course. Impact point. The radius will be like 50, which is a lot. And now the strength. The strength depends on if you are doing constant, linear, or if you're doing acceleration change. So I'll be doing should be linear weaker the further from origin. No. Constant means it's the same strength everywhere. So let's do linear. And we want to say axle change. If it's true, the strength is being interpreted as acceleration instead of physics force. So the mass doesn't matter. Yes. This means that instead of adding force of millions to move a cube that weighs 100 kilograms from an arrow, we just will need, I don't know, like 5,000 or maybe 50,000 instead of literal millions. Yeah, I think it was 50,000 to make it work properly. Oh. No. Let's increase it then, like by 2 extra zeros. I don't remember what's the actual scale to make it not look ridiculous. And what if it's constant? Am I missing something? They are simulating physics. Oh, okay. Maybe I am missing something actually. Maybe I'm not trying to add radial force. I'm trying to add impulse. Radial impulse, not force. Force would I have to add a tick to actually make any difference. It's like a thruster for starships adding force, not okay. So radial makes more sense. Origin is the impact point. Radius will be 50, strength will be 50,000, and it will be linear, and this is ignoring mass. Okay, maybe now. What? Constant? Wait, does it even triggers? Yes. Okay. It's primitive component, so the heat component, that's yeah. Can I no, it has to be on a component. Let's do a delay and we'll see which one triggers, if they even trigger at all. So let's make this like a lot bigger. Let's make it like 100. Let's make it like 100. This is the impact point. Okay. Let's make it constant. Okay, it went flying. On which one? On the first impact? Yeah, on the first impact. Okay. Let's reduce it. Okay, I have no clue why I did that before. Radial impulse. And it's 500,000 for constant. And for linear, it will be probably not enough to even move it. Oh no, that's enough. So it's like linear means the strength of it is being reduced away from the origin, which is great. And this is taking effect of the mass, and now it doesn't. Yeah, now it just went flying. So let's say that it does. So yeah, this is the strength of an arrow that can move 100 kilograms, which is crazy. Can I shoot the weapon as well? Oh yes, I can. Okay. Whoa, okay. Okay, yeah. Let's actually ignore mass and let's reduce it 10 times. Or even probably 100 times. Yes, 100 times. Okay, so 5,000 should be enough. Yeah, that looks good. And this stuck really well as well. So let's leave it like this and let's change back to 6,000 and let's change gravity scale to 1. Okay, so now it's doing this, it's attaching, it's applying force, and after 10 seconds it's getting destroyed. So now what we want to do is to, oh, and by the way, if I click tick, tick, okay, and let's risk it. That's actually pretty read friendly. I'll just put it here. Okay. Now we want to see if this actually hit and dealt damage. So how to do that? Last time we did that, we managed to do. Oh, I don't care about this guy. I care about this guy. Last time we did combat. We did everything inside the fantasy combat. So let's edit this guy, and we have hit subgraph, right? So we are doing this binding on start attack, on end attack, and on attack hit event. So this is directly from our component when we are using our component. If we are not using our component, then we cannot do that. I mean, on the other hand, we could just we could register arrows inside our AGR combat component. We could very easily, actually. Like our arrows, when they spawn, all they would have to do on begin play would be get owner of owner, right? So we're getting owner of owner, which is the character, get combat manager, and we will just have to register no, add trace mesh, and we'll just add this mesh as the mesh, and we will probably use yeah, we would use complex line, and we would, or even yeah, complex line we would use, and just define sockets in the arrow. So we have the sockets called start stop, right? So we would have to do start, move it here, and add stop and move it like, you know what, even here. So the entire arrow would be traced. Or you could just move it here and move it like here, and this socket you would move here, and then it would go like this, cutting, whatever you like, and that would work. But I'm going to do something else. I already detected hitting as a projectile, and I already know that I am attacking properly if it was even spawned. So I can do very similar things as we did in this component. Oh, let me click it again. Here in this subgraph. So, did we hit target? And it was going through all this. And we're going to do very similar thing inside the arrow itself. So we need to get our attack bonus, armor class. Okay, let's go through all of this. Calculate crit and then just returns. So let's get that. Let's make a new function. Let's call it did arrow hit. And we just paste everything and we start chopping it down. So we're getting owner. Well, no, we're getting owner of the owner. So we're getting the actual character, and we're reading its attack bonus. What we need is not melee attack bonus, it's ranged attack bonus. So this is first change. Then we need armor class. To get armor class, we need actually a target. So we need to go back here, and we can delete this. Get back here, and instead of this print string, what we want to do is say target, and this is an actor, and we just set it here. And once it's set, we go through this. Oh, and it would be nice to actually do set it. Okay, now we go back, did arrow hit. We got this attack value, we need to save it as local variable. And then we say target, does it implement interface? If true, then target, get armor. And we need our armor or armor unprepared. That's exactly the same as we did before, and we need it to be stored as our local variable. But if it doesn't implement interface, then our armor value is 10 by default. Okay. Dot product of between wherever we are shooting from to the target. That's the important part. So if in the moment of impact our target actually turns, but it wasn't turned when we fired, it will still count as shooting at his back, which is correct. So then we set the armor, then we do the roll, then we save the roll. Then we check if we hit. So we're adding our attack value that we saved to the roll, and we see if it's greater or equal to the armor, and we save local variable hit successful. Makes sense so far. And then we get weapon info from our owner's owner. Oh, we can get owner, which is the bow, and we can get weapon info directly. So we don't need to do this. We might even change weapon as the arrow flies, but the bow reference as our owner is still being set here. So we got it. Okay, and then we have our crit chance. And then we do our this is already a variable. We see if it's in range. If it's not, then we know if it's critical or not. Okay. And we have the entire function. There's one more thing we need to do also. We need to get owner and get weapon stats sooner. So we can do this, a local variable as well. Crit chance that we have to save sooner. We can move this. Okay, like this, 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 this. Okay. So attack bonus, and now we have to do it here. So this is weapon info, and this is get owner, and get owner of owner. Okay. So we want to just do a single owner. And we want to store range. Promote to local variable range, and want to store range, and want to also save crit chance that we need later on. And here we need to do one more thing. Now at the moment of hit, before we start doing this function, we need to know what's the hit location, and we do, because we got impact point, right? So we want to promote it to full variable and say impact point, and do it before we do set location and everything, before we move the arrow even further. Okay. And now we can get our impact point, and we can get our start location. And if our impact point distance 2, this is a vector distance 2, so so if our impact point 2 start location distance, doesn't matter which way we measure it, it's just a distance is a float. If this is greater than our range, then we want to take our ranged attack, final range attack that we calculate with power attacks and everything. And we want to do select int. So if our distance is greater than range, so it's A, we want to add -4. If it's not, we want to add 0. So if our target is far away, we have less chances of hitting him, because ranged weapons in a game like this might feel OP. So if someone has a shield and is in defensive stance and someone is shooting at him from very far away, there's very slight chance that he's getting hit. Okay, and now this can do return node, and now we can think about everything. So did it hit? Was hit. Critical. What else do we do here? We're like outputting everything: attack, dice, and armor. Yeah, we do everything. Is there really a point? I mean, let's do it. Attack, armor, and dice roll. So attack, armor, dice roll. Okay. Output. Okay, so now we go here after we add the radial force in the same frame, or even before it we could do it, but yeah, that doesn't matter, we can do it in the same frame. So just after it we do did arrow hit, and it's just a local function. And now here we were doing some debug string. We can actually even format that, I mean copy that, paste it here, do a print text, why not? So was it hit or critical hit? Oh, there was some. Okay. So if it was hit and critical hit, then critical hit. If not, if it was just hit, then hit, and if not, then miss. Okay. So this is hit. Bonus is attack. Armor is armor. Roll is roll. What? Attack bonus. Sum? What's sum? Oh. Okay, so this is attack bonus plus dice roll. So attack bonus plus dice roll. Okay, so this is the sum. And how do we check for hit, by the way? So this is range. Okay, so this is attack value. Oh yeah, we never did sum it up. Hit dice and attack plus this is greater than hit. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. So this is how it's done, and then we print it. So check hit and print. Okay, and the last thing we need to do is to get owner. Stats. No, actually, damage. Apply damage message. No, not this one. Damage message. Roll damage from our bow. But do that only if we have hit. So then branch. If it was hit, true. Then do that. Get our target and say damage apply message. And info, weapon stats. Oh yeah, get weapon stats message as well from the owner. And we can use damage type, and we can do damage as damage directly. To do hit, we can go all the way back here and do this hit. And we're going to yeah, do it like this maybe. Okay, there was a short break, and okay, we're getting this, we're reading damage, we got this info. We can also do a print string or print text, and we can say format text, and text is self. I'll do this. Oh no, it will be instigator. Okay, so self instigator. So it will be like this: actor dealt number damage to target with weapon. Okay, so instigator dealt damage to target with weapon, which is the owner. And this should be on hit, check, attack, and damage roll. Compile. So this format graph, this format graph, it's more user friendly this way. Okay, save. Now, if everything is done correctly, I should be able to kill this guy. Oh, I just hit myself. That's bad. I missed myself. Oh, instigator is not. Huh, okay, interesting. The instigator is not being set properly, which sucks. So instead of getting the instigator, we need to get owner's owner. So weapon is owner, owner's owner is the actor. Actor number, there's a double here, so I damage to target with weapon. Okay, that's better. Now, why did I start hitting myself? If I disable this check, I hit play. That wasn't happening. What? Let's go through it again. Something is not right. If it's yes, of course, false. That was my error. Yeah, I forgot that if it contains, that it means I am hitting the exclusion targets. Yeah, sorry. So now, bow, hit this guy. Why did it keep falling? It didn't attach. It did kill him, which is good. It's not attaching properly. And I can even charge my attack. And my power attack doesn't add to my ranged attack. That's interesting. Let's go here and let's go into data, edit. That's why we did all those print strings. And we want to go into interface, combat, get attack bonus, and circumstance attack bonus is being added, dexterity is being added, and base attack bonus is being added. So it should actually. Okay. Attack 6 plus roll 8. Interesting. Six plus roll 2. What? Let's go through the hit. Oh, maybe it was the replicate movement. It was making this. No. Okay, let's go through the hit once more because something is off here. Get weapon stats, roll damage. Okay, that's cool, but we want to go here. Get weapon stats. Yeah, cool story. Why is it like grayed out? I don't get it. Range attack, which is counting everything. Oh. Oh, and what's the range of our bow? I know what's the range on our bow. It's 30. But it should be 30 meters. That's why my attack rolls are so small. So this is then range times 100. Why they are different color? Oh, okay. So this was in front. Okay, that's strange. So range times 100. Yeah, so up to 30 meters, I shouldn't get this minus. So now my attack should be 10. So 10 plus 9, 19. Okay, it works properly. Now just this attaching doesn't work now. It's because, I know why it's because when we have oh, damage causer also is the get owner. Damage instigator is get owner's owner. Cast to pound. Yeah, that's more appropriate. So set actor location, set collision enabled, stop movement immediately. This should all be keep world, keep world, keep world. Hit component, hit bone, goes from hit sweep. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Why does it fall off then? What? Why does it fall off? Real simulated bodies? That's the problem? Is it? Like if it's a skeletal mesh, then you will have issue and you will fall off? No. What? Touch actor tablet is self actor, so that's correct. Parent is hit component. Oh, it's because I disable replicate movement. And replicate movement manages attachments as well. No? Also, still the strength is a bit too big for this impulse. Let's make it like 4,000. Projectile movement, stop movement immediately. Attach actor to component. Sometimes when a function breaks like this, all you have to do is just redo it exactly as it was. No, keep world, no. And just push it like this. No, 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 not even close. I mean, it was working literally like 20 minutes ago or something, and it stopped. This is this. Nothing changed. Uh, Come on, already. Wow. Show collision. Okay, I don't know what to really think about that. If this stop simulating shouldn't be necessary. This works and this doesn't. Okay, we can just stop simulating. For all I care. Okay, that should be the entire arrow. So we got working archery, almost. We need to do one more ability. Just to able ability blueprint. And this one doesn't require anything. It can be just able ability. It doesn't like I can make it fantasy ability. Okay, and we'll call it A underscore bow zoom. And bow zoom, what it's going to do is going to be priority of 5, so the lowest client can cancel, stamina requirement is 0. It is a passive looping ability that is channeled with channel condition of an input, and the input is an enhanced input, and it is the secondary trigger. As long as it is must meet all conditions, as long as it is held, we are not interrupting, and there is actually no tag that we need to add this ability. We can just do ability extraordinary or even ordinary. It's like nothing. Okay, and we got nothing here, just literally nothing. Graph override again on ability start, call parent function, And what we want to do here, we want to get owner. No, we want context owner. Cast to character. We want to just get camera, get component by class. Just camera component. Set FOV. Set field of view. Let's make it 77. And like this is without interpolation, it's really dirty. We could do it otherwise. Let's make it that it at least looks half decent, not complete terrible mess. So let's go on to game logic. Let's do custom event, and we do smooth zoom, and it is with one parameter, and it has timeline, zoom timeline, and it will have one float, which is FOV, and it will go from key of at 0 being 90, and we have a key of 0.5 second being 77. Pow pow, auto, and auto. Okay, it goes like this. And on zoom true, you wanna play it. On zoom false, you want to reverse it, not from start, not from end, nothing in between. Just do it. And we just get camera, set field of view to this field of view. Okay. Zoom event. Do we want it to be part of an interface? We might. I mean, it would be easier to call from anywhere, really, and it could do different thing later. So let's do it like that. Let's go to core ability interface. No, this is for abilities. We want equipment fantasy character data interface, and then we have inventory and weapon. This should be like one interface, but never mind. Let's do here, and we have character get direction, and we'll do character set zoom. It has an input of zoom. And guess what? Our fantasy character has this interface now. So set zoom, implement, cut it out, game logic, paste it. Instead of this smooth zoom, we just put this in place. Set zoom, and we go to our bow zoom ability. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this. We don't need this. Zoom true. And on ability end. Doesn't matter if it's interrupted, branched, we don't care. It's false. Oh, yeah. How about call to parent? Don't forget about that. Like if you are inheriting abilities, this is important. And now able zoom, we go back to our gameplay weapons. We go to our bow. Where is it? Longbow. And we have interface, equipment, get secondary ability. How about zoom? And get primary ability stays the same. So now hit play and I can zoom. But I'm going to make it faster. It's not half a second, it's going to actually be time 0.2. And the length is 0.2 as well. And the zoom amount will be different. I will actually make it like 56. Okay. There we go. Okay. And I still don't know why this add particle Niagara particle system. And this is Niagara particle system, so I don't. Oh, I think it's actually working this time. Screw this construction script. I'm going to have a static color. Viewport, it's here. Okay, let's say debug off. Yeah, there's a trail. Okay. So most of it works. We got zooming. We got longbow. Now, what we also want to do is this bow. We need to move this string, and that's going to be tricky. Use animation blueprint. Yeah, let's just make an animation blueprint for this guy. Where should we put it? I think somewhere like here. We want to make animation blueprint for the bow and say, okay, I want to call it BP bow animation blueprint. Once again, my folder structure is terrible and I can definitely do better. So he has, I think, no animations. Open archery bow animes? What? No. For sure, no. He has actual animations? If he has animations, it's going to be easy. Items, weapons, archery, bow animes. There are bow animations. Oh, that's gonna be so easy. Okay. Idle. Play bow, idle one bow. Yes. So this is idle. And we want to do default slot. Okay. So we have default slot here. So we can play montages now. So what we want to do is go to here, abilities, ordinary bow. And we need to say like this is, ooh. Is there start? No. Idle to draw. Idle. Idle aim. Idle aim 01. Oh, let's see this one. So this is already aiming. Aim bow. Okay, this is aim bow. Great. Create an montage. AM underscore bow mesh underscore attack start. Okay, and we need now idle aim bow idle aim. Okay, and we need new sector loop. I want to pause, move it. Not yeah, you stick here, and want to loop the loop exactly as we did with the hands animation. Save it. And now we go to start. No, not this. To the ability bow attack start, and we want to play animation. Play animation. Yes. This animation, right? So this is same length, but this is bow animation, right? And we want to actually play this animation as montage. In default slot. But the target is not self, and it's not owner. The target is instigator of this play animation. So this animation should play on the bow, and we can test it immediately if my logic is solid. So now I will draw the bow, and it didn't happen properly. The instigator should be properly passed, but let's make sure of it. Put in event graph, primary trigger, get direction, get current weapon, get weapon. Weapon is the instigator. Yeah, so the weapon is instigator. Damn it, how to do that? I should be able to do that. How about target actor? And how about we do target logic? That the target is instigator. Safe. How about that? Oh, how about I actually go into longbow and I said that this mesh should use our bow anim graph. Otherwise, we will not see the animations. And we do see them. Let's go into F8. No, it stays there. Let's go back to our ability. We don't need that then. None, not target, instigator. And yes, and it doesn't as well. Oh, it must have the same 0.15 blend out. 0.15 blend out. Yeah, so it doesn't stop because, well, many reasons, but it will once we update the next one. So the bow attack execute has also an animation, and we're going to do another one here. Animation, play animation, yes. Oh, and cancel because we need to make one. So this will be fire, shoot. Okay. Shoot to idle, shoot to aim, shoot to idle 2, shoot to idle. Oh, this is crouch and this is shoot to idle. Okay, that's the one. That's the one. Create anim montage AM bow mesh attack execute. Move it here. And let's look here. 0, 1 linear, and we're doing the same here. 0, 1 linear. So 0, 1 is here. Oh, so that's already end of the ability, basically. Oh, well. We can... Okay, it should still blend pretty well. Okay. Let's go to our ability, attack, execute. So this, bow execute, dynamic montage, no. Just copy from here. Yeah, just ignore everything. Stop all montages, yes. Play on server, yes. Inheritable doesn't matter. Graph. Okay, stop all montages should be enough. So now play. No, okay, so bow start, graph, on ability start, then we got this. This is also looping. Yes, it is looping. This. This is sub, this is instigator. No. Okay, no. So that's one thing. That's the difference. Target is, oh yeah, it needs to be instigator for the bow. Oh, this is self as the AM bow attack execute, and this is instigator, and this is AM bow mesh execute, and it's playing on instigator. Maybe now. Yes. Yes. Finally looks at least half decent. Even the arrow from the string is being moved to the draw, and now it's being drawn and put here, so it's even small details like this, and then we draw and we okay, that's great. It actually works now. So we finished archery. This is the entire archery. I thought we have to do draw as well, but I guess we don't. Like making disappearing of the arrow, because it's already covered. Okay, we have it. That's great. Okay, let's go here. Archery is done. So now there will be classes. Let's look how we are standing with the time. Let's pause for a second. So 21, 25, 26, and 10. 36 and 50. 36 and 50 for the last 2 weeks. Well, 3 weeks really.